Okay, so a brief recap of what we did yesterday. Yesterday we completed Block 1 and of rural development program, and there were around 6 units in it. Each unit had a detailed uh, discussion or had detailed information about some of the programs that are being run for poverty alleviation in our country. Now, Unit 1 particularly had spoke about these programs as a combined list. Then Unit 2, this is for you to know that I think yesterday someone was saying that they are not able to find information regarding Jawahar Rozgar Yojana, JRY, Jawahar Rozgar Yojana. So Rozgar Yojana and the entire details of this Yojana means a program. Yojana in Hindi means a program. Uh, is All the details are present in Unit 5 of Block 1. Similarly, Employment Assurance Scheme, the entire scheme with its details, is discussed in Unit 6 of Block 1. The integrated IRDP that we spoke about yesterday is discussed in detail in Unit 3 of the Block 1. Similarly, TRISEM and DWACRA that we discussed yesterday, the details you will find in Unit 4. So Unit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of Block 1 discusses each of the programs that we spoke about yesterday in detail. Today we will be starting with Block 2, and we'll only be dealing with Unit 1, 2 and 3 of this block because these units are big. Tomorrow I'll be taking up Unit 4 and 5. No, wait, I think I'll be able to complete it all. Anyways, we'll just begin first, and then we'll see how we are proceeding and how much of time do we have to be able to take the other units or not. Right. So, as I was discussing yesterday, that one of the major concerns and one of the major problems in India and for rural development was the poverty that the country was facing and is still facing. A lot of Indian rural people are poor, and to be able to for any program to be successful, it is important, or in fact, all the programs technically aim at bringing the economic level standards, bringing it. Just a minute, I can see this can- some problem. Yeah. So the concerns of the concern of the government is to bring these people, to lift up the people from below poverty line and to make them economically more stable. Economic stability was is one of the major concerns and objective of our government. And all rural development programs, it was felt that since the biggest problem is poverty, so all rural development programs aim directly or indirectly towards poverty alleviation. And the programs that we discussed yesterday were all targeted with that objective were all planned with that objective in mind. Now here we take one step ahead, and when we by coming to the present time situation in India. Now presently in 2023, we are sitting in 2023. As of now, there all the programs that we discussed yesterday, since it was in a retrospect that I was supposed to give you, all those programs that we discussed yesterday were definitely there running from 1970 till sometime later. They all got culminated together pulled together, combined together into a single program, which is known as the Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Yes, these words are in Hindi. It will be a little difficult for you to remember it. To like mug it up. So Swarn Jayanti is uh, I'm- okay, let me not get into the details of what that Hindi word means. But again, it is a program, and all the other programs that we discussed yesterday, whether it was Integrated Rural Development Program, IRDP, or TRISEM, or DWACRA, or Minimum Needs Program, they all got clubbed together into a single program. We all got clubbed together into a single program, and which got the name of Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Now, what does basically this program is about generating self-employment. We understand and we understood within in 2 3 decades only after independence that no rural development program can be successful it is not if it is not sustainable, and to bring about sustainability in development it was important that their dependence on government, at least for employment, is brought down to minimum. So Swarozgar means self employment, employing yourself through the skills that you have, being able to generate or earn a livelihood by the skills that a particular person has is called self employment. So, very soon people were able to understand that. After independence, within decades, we were around 2 3 decades later only, we were able to understand that all the rural development programs that are being targeted is actually probably not reaching out to the poor. Somewhere it is the services and the benefits are being used up by the people who are anyways not so vulnerable. They could reach to the services and the services could reach them, but the ones who actually could not reach to the services, technically the services also were not able to reach them. Since they were not able to, they were not able to highlight themselves, they were not able to uh, come up and get themselves registered as beneficiaries. So there were these problems, and that is why it was realized that all these individual efforts of trying to have one scheme here, that another scheme there, third scheme there, was not benefiting. So the government, the planners decided during its planning meetings, they decided all these individual programs that are being run, which we discussed about yesterday, that is IRDP, TRISEM, Dwarka, Minimum Needs Program, they all should be brought together, all their budgets, all their finances, all their officials should come uh, should should work together in trying to take the objective forward. So all these schemes technically then came under one umbrella, one government, one authorities. It benefited the beneficiary. It was useful for the beneficiaries also, because this way they did not have to go from door to door or office to office or desk to desk trying to take benefit out of the programs. So it was with this thought, with this objective, that all these individual independent programs and policies were clubbed together into one by the name of Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, SGSY. So your unit 1 discusses in detail about SGSY. Unit 1 is in a detailed about its objectives, about the beneficiaries, and it would obviously not possible for us to go through it word by word or page by page or para by para. And as I said, that it is important for you to actually have gone through your course material so that we can discuss it. I don't want to I don't want to teach like a school teacher and ask you have you done your homework, but I wish that you've gone through the coursework or your unit block 2 that I asked you to. Have you? Has anybody done that? I guess I silence means no. Fine, fair enough. So, so the unit 1 of block 2 discusses about Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. And here I would like to tell you one thing, that when we talk about Swarozgar, as I said, that it is an Hindi word which means self-employment. So when I'm talking about Swarozgar or self-employment, then the government talks about two ways of self-employment. One is individual self-employment, and another one is group uh, self-employment. So either individuals can take up jobs, or maybe work upon their livelihood as individual independent entities, or a group may come together to take up economic activities which can bring about sustainability in their life, and obviously help them to cross the line of poverty that they have been placed into, or they are basically now as under the uh, they are below poverty. So to bring themselves above the poverty line level, we so these so now both ways, whether it is for to targeted towards individual or targeted towards group, it was important and the need was felt that their skills need to be developed. So the skill development happened either at the individual level, or could take place, or is taking place at the individual level, where an individual is trained into various skills more, or it is happening at a group level. Group level was a better initiative. Group level livelihood skill development trainings were found to be more beneficial, because there was a support system that people who were involved in similar activities, there were a support, emotional psychological support system that was built there, and it is a very good initiative that is being done here in India. Now, if you go when you go through this unit, you will realize that they have used the word SHGs. Okay, SHGs. SHG stands for self help groups. So through this scheme SGSY, Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, self help groups were formed. So these groups got together into micro enterprises. They would get credit from the bank. The government supported them to market the things that they were making, and along with that, the capacity of the members of these self-help groups was is also being continuously built and upgraded. So SGSY is a very successful program, where the rural poor through which the rural poor are coming together into small groups. They are not everybody can be a part of this SHG. Okay, there are certain um, criteria that they need to qualify. Criteria in terms of not a very high flying criteria of being the elite, or they are not elitist criteria. They are very basic general criteria, where so that the actual poor, or the ones who actually need this service, or this the benefits, it reaches to them. So the main criteria is that the members should belong to below poverty line level. Below poverty line level people come together into groups. The government builds up their capacity. planning of activities are done, infrastructure is built up by them, technology and its training is given to them, credit is provided by the bank to them, and whatever products that they are making are the government helps them to market it also. And of course, it's not as if they are not doing anything, and it's only the government who's trying to market their products. They themselves at their own level also conduct all these activities. So it was soon realized that the Indian rural people have a lot of indigenous skills in them, a lot of uh, local products were being made at the rural level. So instead of depending on big factories and machine made products, it was realized that these small groups can actually get into enterprises and make up things which can reach to the urban people or which could be marketed to the urban people. And it is just that these people, the rural poor, or needed a kind of a base and a support system and someone to plan it and organize it for them. So the government came forward and did it for them, and that is how the SGSY Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana came into being. And as you will see in in Unit 1, they have discussed quite in detail about SGSY, who are the beneficiaries. As I told you, the beneficiaries are the poor, and then there is a detailed discussion about self-help groups and how these self-help groups, how do they, what is the procedures of formation, what how are subsidies given to them, what kind of microfinances they are, enterprises they are indulging into, and these all these kind of details and things are given in your unit. How are these self-help groups formed? That entire procedure of their formation is also mentioned. Just give me a second. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. So, Unit 1 discusses in detail about, as what I was telling you, about SHGs and Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. How how are the SHGs? It talks about in detail how these SHGs again stands for self help groups. Okay. Self-help groups, how are these groups formed, what is the procedures for their formation, that is also given in this unit in detail. Basically, to give you a very small brief about how they are formed, it's like around minimum 5 to 15 people. That's like five is in the minimum number of people that need to come together for this group to be recognized as an SHG is minimum 5 to 15, and these 5 to 50 people come together, form a group, take up some kind of an activity, and then they apply to the bank for some kind of a credit from the bank. Of course, the group needs to be in existence since past 6 months. It's not as if you form a group and then go to the bank and take a subsidized loan from the bank. No, the bank also says that the group should have been in existence for at least 6 months, so that we are able to rule out the possibility of frauds and groups coming together just to take a loan and then dispersing. So that is why, or dissolving, sorry, the group dissolving, as if the objective is just to get together, take loan, and then dissolve. No. So there you have to be in existence for at least 6 weeks. So this is what, this is what an SHG is. It's a small group of people that come together, 5 to 15 people, and they go to they approach the bank, government banks, and subsidies are given to them. Loan is given to them on very low interest rate. Or in fact, in this I'm just going through a unit to ensure that I have taken up or discussed whatever is needed in SHGs. I told you that yes, there are economic activities, and with this, we are fine. Perfect. So this is what this unit is basically talking about. So this unit discusses in detail about SGSY and how SG and how through how SHGs are formed through this program, and what is the formation of SHGs and how it is really benefiting the rural poor now who come together in groups and clusters and take up micro enterprise, micro activities at the rural level. Uh, I have been asked a question. Which resource material are we using? Is it one on the LMS or the first resource downloaded on the IGNOU Samarth website? Uh, how would I be able to answer that question? I'm sorry, I will not be able to answer that question. These, hmm,
Ma,
yeah, I have the, wait, I think it is on the LMS. Okay, these are, let me just scroll up to this. Okay, now there is a this PDF is available on your LMS. Okay, there is a link to it, and or if you can then share what you have, then maybe I can tell you exactly whether it is the same thing or not.
hello, Ma.
Yeah.
Please, what we have on LMS is the same thing, but the topic we are discussing right now is in Block 1, which
Okay,
is
so it is the one on the LMS.
yes,
Fine, thank you so much. Okay, fine, perfect. Because I don't know which material you have downloaded from the IGNOU Samarth website. I am not aware what you have downloaded. But what I have is from the LMS. So what we are discussing is from the LMS portal only. Material
yes.
that is available on the LMS Block 2 Unit 1.
For the one we have in LMS, it is in block self-employment is in Block 1, Unit 4.
Trisem and Dwakra, yes, we have. So is that query answered?
Okay,
Fine.
ma'am. I want to ask a question about the self-help group. So, is there
Yes.
any point in time where the government take a deliberate action, policy to give maybe training to this self-help group who have not acquired any skills so that they can be self-employed?
Jimmy, your voice is breaking. I'm so sorry. Uh, you are not very audible. There is some breaking in your voice.
Okay,
Can you repeat? Yes, a little slowly? Repeat. Otherwise, you need to write it down on the chat
okay.
box.
Let me
So
take it
I'll
again.
try and understand. Just go a little slow. Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking, is there any point in time where the self-help group that have been formed do not have the members do not have any skills for self-employment, and the government take a deliberate policy to train those members so that they can be self-employed?
So that the members can be
Employed.
self what? Can you write down?
Employment, self-employed.
Self-employed. No, that is exactly what I am. That is the main objective of an SHG. The members are not skilled. They may have some slight skills, some local skills, which, for example, I'll tell you. Do you understand what pickles are? Do you know what pickle is? What a pickle is?
Pickles. Maybe you have to explain a little bit.
Okay, wait. I don't know. What is the local term for a pickle? Pickle, or maybe wait. I'll tell you. You understand what jute is? Jute. So a lot of women in rural India make baskets out of jute. They keep it on their head to take things from one place to another, whether it is vegetables or maybe it is just grass or whatever. So it is a local made thing that they make it in their own houses. It is made from the raw products of what they grow on their fields, dry wooden kind of a thing. Okay. So now this is something which is not very easy to make, but at the rural level, it is a very most of the women know how to make it because they've seen their grandmothers and then they've seen their mothers do it and they know how to make it. Similarly, we have pickles. Pickles is like if you take mango. I'm just giving an example of one kind of a pickle. If you take mango and you dry it, you take mango, you dry it, you apply some salt and some tamarind in it, and you leave it on in the sun for it to take up more of an edible shape from a raw shape, and then we put mustard oil in it, and a whole jar of pickle is prepared, which is something that we eat as an assortment with our food. It's nice, sweet and sour and salty. It's a nice. Um, it's like a it's like a sauce maybe, and a mango sauce kind of a thing with mango pieces in it. So now in India, pickles are consumed majorly. They are, your another homework will be to look for pickles. What do you mean by pickles? Pickels. So a lot of Indian women at the rural level are so good at making pickles. So they make pickles out of green chilies where they dry them up. They put some oil in it and they cut it and fill it up with with ginger, garlic, and whatever the taste of a person may have. And then it has a shelf value of not less than a year or maybe 2 years, and at times even more. So these women who already had the skills of making pickles, the government just gave them more of a formal training, gave them the nuances of how to make pickle in a hygienic manner, gave them the skills of marketing it, packaging it. Otherwise, they were done at a local in their house level only. Na? They would keep it in their jars, they would keep it in their um, glass jars. But marketing of your product, it becomes important as to how it is. The packaging becomes very important if you're marketing your product. So SHGs the women who already had the skills, their skills were upgraded. They were upgraded so that they can match the market competition, the competition available on the in the market, so that they were able to match that competition. So yes, the government definitely upgrades their skills, definitely works upon the skill enhancement for whatever local products that they are trying to make. Technical training may also be given in certain places. A lot of technical training may be required for some kind of a micro enterprise. Okay, in Uganda SHG, we have the parish development model. The community development offers are in charge of as officers are in charge of building the capacity of group people. Okay, so your community development officers, even we have block development officers. So these people probably it is a parallel structure that we have running over here also, as Kabugo Faith is discussing and telling about Uganda. And so they have community development officers and we have block development officers. It is the responsibility of the block development officers to identify the beneficiaries, to understand that once a list of people is being prepared who could and should benefit from particularly SGSY, if we are talking about of this Gramin Swan Jayanti Gramin Swarozgar Yojana. So a list is prepared. So it is the responsibility of the BDO to ensure that whoever the needy is gets included in the list, so that once the benefits are being given or programs are being made, then they are the due reaches to them. Okay, fine. So I'll give you a 2 minutes break. Just go through your unit one. If there is anything that you need to ask me, please. It is 36. I'll come back at 38. 2 minutes break. Just go through your material if in case you want to ask me anything. I'm talking about unit one of block two. Fine. So now we come to unit two. Unit 2 also, I've already discussed. Unit 1 and 2 I've discussed. It is just an extension of Unit 1. Since Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana is a big program, so 2 units have been dedicated to it. And it talks about, we've already discussed whatever this, the program is. And if there is any question that you need to ask, we can probably get back to it later also. So main thing under SGSY is that they form SHGs, and through SHGs it reaches out to subsidies are given to them. SGSY schemes, the bank gives them subsidies to take up micro enterprises or to do to get to indulge into self employment and uh, self livelihood creations. A number of banks are there present in our country who give these loans to them. There is a proper procedure of allocation and release of these funds. There are rules that are being made by the government. So it's a foolproof method. It's not like a group is formed and they take money from the bank and then they run away. It is decentralized to the level, to the basic local level, it is decentralized. Starting from a central level to the state level, back to the village level, the chain is such that it is very, very difficult to cheat. And that's a negative connotation, but basically the scheme is so well formed that from the central to the state to the district to the block level, there is checks and balances. So to ensure that the due reaches to the beneficiary. So this is basically about Swan Jayanti. Gram Swarozgar Yojana. See, this is a it's a big scheme, and I wish you had gone through it and we would have discussed it, because going through it one by one will be very very difficult. It's I try and I what I my efforts obviously are to give you a basic idea about what the scheme is, so that when you read it and when you go about it, it's not as if something new has suddenly cropped up in front of you. Um, you would be a little versed with the topic because of our counseling session. So if I'll just sum up Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana in 2 minutes. Swan Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana is basically a program at the village level for self employment. In a nutshell, this is what it is. It is a program run at the village level for self employment of the rural people. And it was framed with the objective of rural development, and that is why we are studying it as part of our course, and of course targeted towards poverty alleviation of the rural poor. So that is about unit 1 and 2. Now we will come to unit 3, 4 and 5, Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana. Sampurna Gramin Rozgar Yojana is also a, a program of the government which is related to self-employment. It discusses about the various, just a minute, let me open this so that I am sure that I am taking up everything that needs to be told. Okay, so now we come to to unit 3, Sampurn Gramin Rozgar Yojana. Sampurn means all inclusive, in totality, whatever word you would fit in better. Gramin means rural, Rozgar means employment, and Yojana means a program. So, okay, so it is an all inclusive rural employment program. Here again, it was felt this program again was introduced by the government for poverty alleviation. Yeah, anybody wants to say something? Just a second. Yeah, what happened? Alfred, Mr. Alfred Oboro, do you want to say it, or can you mute yourself then? Mr. Alfred, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So the objective of this program, which is discussed in Unit 3, the objective of this program is for alleviation of poverty, reduction of the inequalities that were present in the society, Very interestingly, improvement of the nutritional level. And so this was, it had a larger vision to it. Not only were we talking about reduction of poverty, we are also talking about reducing the inequalities, and also ensuring proper healthy food to the rural poor. So providing wage employment to all the rural people by involving them in manual and unskilled is the primary. So if we talk about Sampoorn Gramin Rozgar Yojana and Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana, that the earlier one in unit 1 and 2 that we spoke about is about self employment, and this program is about wage employment, right? So there are two types of employments that the government is providing at a rural level. One is wages through wage employment, that is, they are employed for someone else. They are employees of someone else. And secondly is that and earlier that we discussed about that they are self-employed. So there are two types of employment: self-employment and wage employment. So unit 1 2 that speaks about SGSY is about self employment scheme, and this one is basically about wage employment. This is a wage employment program that we are discussing about now. So obviously, when we were talking of here, we are talking again about the kind of beneficiaries that are there in this program is the agricultural wage earners, non-agricultural unskilled wage earners, the marginal farmers, the women, the members of the SC/ST, parents of the child laborers and handicapped children, adult children. So these are all, they are basically the weaker section of the society, and this program was made particularly for them to ensure that they get their wage employments, proper wage employments in rural area, along with providing food security and nutritional levels. So this program was basically to ensure that whoever is employing them at the government, or particularly at the government level, is ensuring that there are no inequalities uh, that are prevalent at the level of providing wages to people, and these inequalities as could could be because of gender, could be because of caste, could be because of religion. So the government ensures that whatever is reaching to them, whatever is what the wages that are due to them are given to them without any kind of an brunt of discrimination. So no discrimination should be felt and said and felt at the level of wage employment is what this program is about. And of course, along with that, it also ensures that their nutritional levels and health and hygiene is also taken into care and consideration. I can only tell you in brief about these program and projects, because main thing is that it is a wage employment program as against the earlier one, which was a self-employment program. So this is the basic difference as of now between these two. Okay. Uh, Let me see if I have left anything that needs to be discussed in this particular unit. There is lots. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm able to cover all, but we'll meet again if there are further questions. Actually, it's I wish you had gone through it so we would be able to answer queries. But yeah, we will still have. Okay, I think all this is not needed. This I've already discussed. I will just take it up once again. If there is any question anyone wants to ask, please go ahead. So if you look at the objectives of SGSY SGRY as it is written over here, we've already discussed is that it is to provide wage employment in all rural areas and also to provide food security and improve the nutritional level and to create a durable community, social and economic assets and effect infrastructural development in rural areas in the long run. So here we are talking about creating a socio and economic society in such a manner where the infrastructure remains in the infrastructure that is being developed remains so for a long period of time. Now, okay, now another interesting thing is that under this scheme, the wages that are paid to the rural people. See, this is a scheme that is being run by the government, wherein the rural people can work under it, and the wages that are given to them are given partly in form of food grains and partly in form of cash. So, but at least 25% of the wages needs to be paid in cash. It's not as if you can just pay everything in kind and not give them the money. Both the under the scheme there are two types of laborers, both skilled and unskilled laborers, and it is mandated that they are provided with the minimum wages, and these minimum wages are actually fixed by the state authorities. So there is a minimum wage act, and there are wages. It's not as if someone can pay whatever they want to. There are minimum wages that needs to be paid to the people, and it is through this program that this kind of wage payments and wage rights are ensured. Okay, these food grains are given as part of SGRY to the rural poor at the rate of rupees 5 per man days. Okay, so per man days isn't they are given whatever food grains are given to them are all for that also there is an amount that has been fixed. It's not that if you give them less amount or less food grains, there is an amount of food grain that needs to be given to them. So this is also fixed. So under the scheme, the rural poor are paid through two forms, through cash and through food grains. And because generally what was felt is what was why this thing came up is very interesting. Initially the like wages were paid to us. I'll tell you, wait just a second. Where did we go? What happens is, try and understand, if I'm the earning member of my family and I get cash, the cash is in my hand and uh, I can waste it also. I can drink it off. I can gamble it off. I can play lottery with it. It's my money and I am the master of it. And my family is dependent on me to to for me to spend it on them. If I don't want to, I will not, and they can do nothing about it. So wages were being given. I'm not being gender biased, but if we take common examples, and basically wages are given to men, and men may have vices. They may. What happens in our urban areas also, that all these rickshawalas and auto rickshawalas, for example, whatever they earn throughout the day, they spend it on their daily consumption of alcohol, thus being able to save nothing for their family. Saving is a long drawn objective, long drawn dream. They don't have enough to even buy food for their family. So this concept of giving them grain and cash instead of only cash was basically implemented with this thing in mind, to so that if the man or the bread earner, whoever you call it, is not giving money in the in the family to buy food for the children and women, at least the grains that are being given to them can provide for their daily food requirements. So that is why cash and kind, we say, cash and grains, were the combination of these two was brought together. Okay, so this was something which was a very innovative initiative of the government, and the and as I've already told you that the beneficiaries are actually the rural poor. Not everybody can just go and take up wage over there and take up grades. It is the rural poor for whom this program was planned. And even in the rural poor, the first preference goes to the most vulnerable in the society. So this is about Sampurn Gramin Rozgar Yojana. Now we'll take, it's been 3, it's 4 o'clock now. We'll take around 5 minutes break. Instead of giving you 15 minutes break like what we did yesterday, it was too long for me also and for you also. Let's take a 5 minute break and then we'll come to the last two units. And finally, we will come to block 3 also with the other development programs of the, because uh, it will get very boring after a point of time because there are only programs and programs. And we I'm just trying to make it, I'm only trying to pick up those points which are interesting, which are new, so that it ignites your, uh, you know, the desire to learn more about these programs. It ignites your inquisitiveness. So please go through the material. It's very important for the class to be interactive, right? So we'll take a 5-7 minutes break. I'll get back to you. It is my clock is clicking at 3:58. So we'll meet at 4:05.